Has Tom Green ever done anything for you? Unless he's come to your house and thrown corn at your parents, probably not. Tom wants to, though, because he really likes the people who watch his show.
Have a couple of sluts right here, actually.
He put out a tape which promises not only the most outrageous moments from the Tom Green Show, but your very own copy of Tom's music video, The Bum Bum Song. You'll be amazed at how your eyes and ears will pick up the signals, send them to your brain. Your brain will process this information, read it as hilarious, pump it back down your cerebral cortex, and you'll say, Get the best of MTV's The Tom Green Show, today on home video.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay,
It's a show that is unlike anybody else has ever seen or produced.
It came in and just smacked people over the head.
His humor is very rock and roll.
I think from the very beginning, I think people kind of associated with Tom.
Because he's doing things to people that everybody's kind of wanted to try, but they just never had the balls to do it.
It's the type of humor that you love when it's not happening to you.
I noticed you two were kissing in the parking lot. Were you planning on having some sex here today?
Tom has no fear.
You know, this guy was louder.
The balls aren't for sale!
More crazy.
Michigan!
Definitely more warped and twisted
And some of the cocks are bigger than others.
than anything else that was on the air.
Oh, no, it's okay. I've got a SAMC. I'm sorry? I've got the SAMC. Yeah, the space age mobile smokers environment, so it won't bother anyone.
And I think majority of them were pretty funny. Not so fun to be there. But afterwards, it was funny.
This is the Tom Green Show. It's not the Green Tom Show. This is my favorite show. Because it is my show. It's the Tom Green Show.
Tom's certainly a bit of a phenomenon. Tom has this kind of ability to get people to do stuff maybe they wouldn't know to do it.
Maybe if we dance, we can scare them away.
He's sort of a professional prick.
This is very annoying. He does have a way of screwing with people, and the people just go with it.
Tom knows his targets.
We know who to screw with most of the time.
Everything we did was about the reaction.
I like all the gay people who touch my ass. Long Beach may suck, but I like having my sucked.
If you get a real reaction, the people stop acting.
I know you can't get into heaven being homosexual.
Tom can do something so outrageous, they can't help and they can't control how they're going to react to Tom.
I myself am a homosexual.
Well, I can pray for you.
No, I'm not a homosexual. I was just joking.
If you are, you are. You know?
I'm not. I was just pulling your leg.
To each is his own. I mean,
But did you really think I was?
I didn't.
Oh!
There was one day in particular that we had 3 crazy bits. Extreme denominations, carnival games, and we also had undercutter pizza. It was amazing that we had 3 irate people.
In today's day and age with debit cards and credit cards and all this crap, fewer and fewer people are paying with cash. Buying a watch band today with a $100 bill. I should just pay with something smaller, since it's only $5. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
When we did a segment where Tom tried to pay with things with a giant bag of pennies.
These pewter keychains.
$3.99.
I guess I'd like to buy one with a little pussy on it. You have collies, boxers, spaniels, Great Danes, pointers. I'll just take my change here.
Very pleasant to see you.
There we go. That's about fair. You've got Huskies, Dobermans, Irish Setters, Afghans, Pekingese, Pointers.
Okay, which one do you want?
I want the pussy. Okay? Thank you, okay? Okay. Thanks very much. I'll pay with the $100 bill. I can't pay with this, or?
You can, but I don't have change of it. If you want, you can go next door to the luncheonette and see if he'll change it for you.
I was wondering if I could get some change made up. I'm buying some next door.
Interesting. They allow Tom to say pussy keychain, pussy keychain, pussy keychain. But then at one point, they bleep out him saying pussy. And I've never understood that.
I just need like a $5 bill.
And the guy was just standing there right there, and he was just like, "What are you doing?" You know, he was shocked that Tom would even think about doing this. The look on his face, it was priceless.
You're making a mess.
What's that?
What are you doing?
I just was hoping maybe you could give me a $5 bill so I could go next door and buy the pussy keychain.
Clean it up, bro. Clean it up, get out of here.
Okay.
5 minutes you have.
He turns right away, and he gets really upset.
And right at that point, what I liked doing, we hardly ever used a zoom on the camera. And I would just kind of inch forward a little bit, just kind of doing this kind of thing. Camera, and as I got really close to him, it just like, it goes for the camera lens.
And he lunged at the camera.
We're doing a piece about money and stuff.
Camera. Break that.
Our cameraman got used to sort of having like one black eye from the viewfinder, like smacking into him.
Like, I don't know what the big deal was. We had 2 hot girls with us who were like getting releases signed, and it didn't make any sense. It's almost like we hired an actor to do it. And he was just waiting to go, but he wasn't. He was really upset the whole time.
They went back there, and I think 15, 20 minutes later, and explained the whole thing.
Anytime someone was on camera, we had to get them a signed release afterwards, which was usually, a tricky job and a very important job.
With releases, you look at the person and then assess, see, what do they need. Sometimes, you give them a couple of MTV hats or MTV Tom Green shirts, and people assign everything. It's amazing what people will do for a T-shirt.
The next thing that happens that same day is we go to carnival games.
Carnival games, that was great. She was the best.
Tom was at Coney Island with the water gun.
Tom went to one of these booths and took a water gun, and he had to spray water in the balloon to make the balloon bigger.
How do you do it? These guys here.
Hey, you wet me, yo.
I thought you were supposed to shoot the people.
Yo, my man, I
thought you were part of the game.
No.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, man. I thought you were part of the game.
The whole bit for him was he was going to spray this balloon, make it bigger, but he's going to keep on spraying the woman who was running the balloon.
He's just like squirting like anybody who's around, and I'm like with this clipboard, the release is like, oh God, trying to get everybody.
How do you turn it on? Can you turn this on? We're just playing the game right now. Can you turn this on for me? How do you turn it on? Can you turn it on? Is it on? Is it on?
And then all of a sudden, she just went after him and started wailing at him.
When the woman attacked Tom, I kind of felt it was my place to cross the line and protect him. She had a wicked, she really could punch.
I mean, that woman comes over and rabbit punches him like 7 times in the head. She was very upset, so she kicks him out.
I didn't even get over there, and they come running back like, Lenny, you got to go over there and talk to that woman. We got to get everything, under control over there.
I just came to the fair to play the game. I just want to play the game. I just came to have fun.
And there's some kids out there who clearly recognize Tom, and all of a sudden she sees the camera. Like, for the first time, she acknowledges that there's a camera filming all this, and she looks at him and the kids and puts it all together. And she says, I know who you are, and I saw you on Oprah.
And she was laughing, but when I went back to see the footage, I realized that Tom had just been like beaten up by a woman.
And suddenly she's laughing about it, and Tom's hugging her. Like 1 minute after she's punching Tom in the head, she's laughing and hugging him.
I've never seen a woman go from one extreme to the next.
Tom takes a lot of pride in being able to push someone to the brink of being able to tear his head off. and then being able to bring them back around.
That one was definitely, from one extreme to the next, the best transition I've ever seen. It was great.
Slugger, can I call you Slugger? No. Let me call you Slugger, okay?
You know, I recall Tom saying something like, "This is what it's come to," you know, getting punched at. We had done it twice that day, and here it is, Undercutter's Pizza.
Undercutter's Pizza was by far the scariest, but one of my favorite ever, because it was such a great idea.
It was basically, let's tail, you know, a pizza delivery guy, and then have, you know, Tom competing with him and trying to, you know, undersell him.
Let's order the pizza?
Yeah.
What toppings did you guys want on your pizza?
Extra cheese.
Extra cheese, okay.
Where's my pizza?
Here we go, this it here. No, we're from Undercutters. Yeah.
Pizza.
No, how much is it? How much is yours?
Get the hell away from me.
No, you get it cheaper from me, though.
I really don't give a f. Get out.
They didn't know what was going on. They were definitely confused. And usually, like, the next emotion, once they feel like they're being had, they're being scammed a little bit, is to get angry.
Because you can get cheaper from me if you want.
I got 3 seconds to get out of here.
This is a new business.
Understand it? We're f***ing American. Get out of here now. Let the dog out.
Okay, but this is a new business. It's called
I'm gonna new business it right up your ass.
Hey.
Get your shit out of here.
No, don't. This is.
Get out of here now.
Okay.
The guy lost it.
This is where Tom pushes it, you know, because he knows he's at that point. It's time to push.
We were going to give it to you cheaper.
Whatever.
We're just trying to start a new business here. It's a creative.
Started by advertising like normal people.
No, I want to.
Why do you gotta be a moron? Do me a favor. Take your and advertise somewhere else.
Okay, I'm sorry. But you know, we just go up to where the pizza people.
Shut your mouth.
Okay.
And go.
Okay. You guys ordered a pizza. We want to sell you one for cheaper. Let's go. Let's go.
That was a real key in a lot of the bits, is just Tom playing this misunderstood character who has very good intentions, but has no idea how it's really supposed to work.
I just want to play the game!
I just misunderstood how to run a business, you know, in selling pizza.
You can tell this guy's really getting pissed off.
And he chased Tom.
Okay, go. It's got a hammer. Go. Go. We're sorry. Go, Matt. Matt, come on, Matt. Matt, this is the line. Matt, turn around. This is Matt, go.
I gotta give much credit to our cameraman for not turning that camera around, because he was real close to getting his camera bashed, if not his head.
Matt just kept filming him. The guy's, you know, chasing. Matt's right up there, you know, smiling, going, "Come on, you know, a little more."
I figured I could, you know, so what, the guy's got it. Well, the camera's in front of me, so even, you know, I'm back in it. So if he throws the hammer, it's probably going to hit the camera, not so much me.
We're sorry.
That person was so annoyed at what was going on.
Yeah, I actually did go back, and, you know, I see this whole, like, spread of our pizza toppings across the driveway, and I see 3 angry people, and, you know, we talked to them and, you know, explained to them.
He didn't want anything to do with it, you know, us and what we were trying to do after the fact. You know, even after we said, look, we're MTV, we're a comedy thing, you know, and we just need your signature. And he's just like, get the out of here.
We sent someone back 2 days later.
But we went back there and we talked to them. You know, you really have to talk to them and persuade them and tell them it's all comedy and it's all fun. And the joke is on Tom, the joke isn't on you.
We probably gave him a little bit of money, but they signed a release and it just kind of went away.
We're from Undercutters. We just wanted to sell them a pizza for cheaper. That's all we wanted to do.
That was a pretty crazy day.
Tom decided he wanted to do a fitness video.
I decided to devote all of my time recently to health and fitness because, after all, a healthy person is a happy person. And a few days ago, I invited a group of senior citizens to join me for my first ever fitness video.
Actually, I wrote it because of the name. There was a Hooks drugstore and then an exercise shop that I saw in Indianapolis one day. And Hooks exercise shop. And if you looked really weird, it looked like it said Hooks exercise. And I was like, oh my God, sexercise. You know, that's kind of funny. And then I was like, oh, old people, you know, they're funny too. And then we just put them together.
We actually went to a casting agency under the guise of bringing people in to do a senior citizens exercise tape.
We lied to them.
They had no idea it was Tom Green or that it was going to be a joke that gets turned around on them.
They come in, you know, sweatpants, ready for an exercise video.
Hi there, and welcome to the Tom Green Senior Citizens Workout Jamboree. I'm your host, Tom Green. Over the past few years, I've talked to a lot of senior citizens, and I think I know a thing or two about what they want. And that's what this video is all about. We've got a great group here today. Are you guys ready? And 1, 2, 3 double time, and up and down, and up and down. And squeeze those glutes, okay? We want you to squeeze those glutes and hammies, okay? Did you feel the burn right there, do you? Yes, okay. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
We had to play it cool for like half an hour. It's like be realistic for half an hour. And then finally when, it's time to go, it's fun.
People started to notice that this is not really exercise anymore.
Thrust, 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 thrust. Feel good, thrust, thrust, then thrust, thrust, then thrust, then thrust. Push it down like this, close your eyes. Push it down like this, close your eyes. Okay, well, I have an exercise that I've developed with a towel that we can do, okay? 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 1 and 2. Everybody. Put your hands around here, just around here. Grab onto her hair. Let's hear the swan again, everybody. Everybody. Okay. Okay.
There were moments where I could tell that they were just like, well, this is strange, but they would do it anyway.
These people have been like extras, in Hollywood for a long time, that they're used to kind of rolling with stuff on the camera, and for the most part, you see them being good sports.
More pelvic thrusts.
It's fun to see Tom spread eagle over an old guy's face, kind of humping him, to this weird German techno beat.
Does that feel good? Does that feel good?
It's borderline pornographic. It's like, people were having sex with their clothes on. I mean, it was crazy.
But you see the one lady, she's just finally had enough. She calls it a porno. And she says, I've had enough, you sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches, I am leaving.
And she storms off. I mean, again, she's getting paid to be there. She thought she was being part of an exercise tape, and she still leaves calling them sons of bitches.
Now I'm leaving you, you sons of bitches. I'm leaving you. Why? They warned me it was going to be a porno.
It's not a porno, Barbara.
I'm sorry, it is.
Please. No, it's not a porno, Barbara.
Some people couldn't roll with it.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody, and keep working out. Keep feeling really, really healthy. It's not a porno.
I'm leaving.
We kick some ass.
It's very well thought out.
We would have meetings and brainstorm ideas, and everybody would write pitches in one paragraph form. Tom would read all the pitches and kind of check which ones he liked.
A lot of it's planned, but then from the planned things, there's so many things that can just branch out.
The reality is, once the camera started rolling, you could never anticipate fully how people were going to react.
I'd say 99% of the time, we would have an idea. Like Tom shops for a pair of shoes, and we would come home with Tom humps a dead sheep.
There were a lot of times where we would be out shooting, and our goal was to shoot this whole piece that was written up and ready to go. But we would be driving and something would catch somebody's eye.
We're driving on this country road, and my eyes are open for these things. I just got conditioned to it. So I'd like, oh, dead cat, Tom. See a dead cat.
It's like, ooh, dead cat. Everyone was excited. We're like, ooh, cool.
And, their mind would start going.
And we had a new production assistant, Sean Gordon. And it was like, Sean, we passed it by like a mile, and we were like, you want to go back and get that dead cat?
My first job at MTV was 2 days after I retired. So we pull over to the side. The producer comes out with one of those portable animal things that you carry on to like an airport. So he gives it to me, and he's like, welcome to the Tom Green Show. I go over, and I go to pick it up. And I'm thinking like it's going to be all like stiff and this and that. This poor cat must have been hit like an hour ago. Because like I go to grab it, and like the head's like all like, moving around. I'm like, ugh! So finally I get the damn thing, and I put it into the cage.
We had it. We kept it in there, I think, for like 8 days because the time just wasn't right to break it out. And then on that 8th day, we did a comedy segment with it. That really wasn't that funny, but it was just cool to have a dead cat in the back of your Winnebago for 8 days.
They worked in a bit where we put it on the floor, and Tom was pretending to do this other bit on something and came across this poor cat.
VCRs, compact discs, the microwave oven. All of these tools are things that make our lives easier, but oh boy, look at this. Geez, it seems we have a sick cat here. Guys, what do you say we do the technology piece a little later? I think we should take care of the sick cat. Don't worry about it, buddy. Oh, geez, the hair came off the tail. The hair came off the tail. There's a bone there.
No, that was shocking. You know, we figured, oh, it's been on ice for 8 days, it should be fine. And the second he touched it, I actually wouldn't touch it, but the second he picked it up, the hair came off the tail. And that's a lesson to all kids out there. There's no pick up a dead cat, you know, by the tail. You should, I guess technically you should go from behind the front legs. That's what they say.
Damn it. Nothing worse when the hair comes off the tail. Come on. We're just gonna have to bring him to the animal hospital and see if we can do something for this little fella. We were doing another story for our show. Oh boy, oh boy.
Been dead long enough to be smelling.
Oh geez, maybe it's okay actually. Oh geez, his eyes out.
It's like somebody's really trimmed his tail too.
Yeah. Is there something you guys can do about this, or?
I don't think so.
He's overdone it.
Make a,
Okay, thank you. I just gotta go clear my thoughts.
I don't know if I'd want to call the dead cat scene brilliant, but it was definitely unique.
I think it evolved over time for Tom. He started just pushing the microphone right into their face.
I guess it's a little bit too early in the season to get the full impact of this.
He's very disarming. I mean, even when he's getting in your face, he at the same time has that certain look in his face where he just kind of disarms people.
You see Tom get more and more confident with what he can get away with. Once he got away with shoving it up their nose and rubbing it around their hair, it was kind of like, you know, I can take this to a new level.
Usually the piss people off was pretty funny, but it did get to the point where you had to almost take it to another little level to where it was clever.
Lately, we've been experimenting with some creative, clever, and innovative ways to make our audience laugh. Today, we're spreading some poo on the microphone and interviewing people on the street.
It was almost a psychological test. If we put dog crap on the end of a microphone, usually people were so intimidated by the presence of a camera that they would forget about the crap and just answer lame questions.
Tell me, what is your favorite part about living in New Jersey?
It's nice. I like it in New Jersey.
And I think there's like instant credibility when there is a professional style news camera there. People just take that more seriously.
Who's your favorite athlete?
Pete Sampras in tennis and Martina Hingis.
Pete Sampras?
Pete Sampras, yes, and Martina Hingis.
He's amazing when it comes to his deadpan face. He makes them think that he's for real.
So where are you off to today?
They do seem bothered by it, but it doesn't stop them from answering the questions.
I'm actually going to meet a friend, grab a beer, and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. It's tough to talk to you when you have that stuff.
Oh, it's okay. Just try to ignore it. You can't do it. Smell. It's awful.
Well, everyone poops, and everyone talks, so you put the two together, and it's comedy.
What's your favorite part about living in New Jersey?
Jersey's the Garden State. You gotta love it, man. You got pranksters like you running out here with on the mic. You know, it's just funny, man. It's funny.
Tom was so excited by how insane that bit was. Obviously, that led to Dildo Mike.
As you may have noticed, we often do some very clever pieces of comedy on the show. Today is no exception. We're going to be talking to people on the street with a microphone.
We try to poke fun at ourselves by saying how clever we're being when we're being anything but clever.
What about the weather here?
Weather is good.
Is it getting much warmer?
Yeah, it will be a little bit warmer.
People don't associate dildos with audio technology, so it almost seemed like a newfangled microphone.
What do you think about the price of gasoline?
Gasoline is way out of sight.
With Tom, I think he takes it to such an extreme that you're kind of overwhelmed very quickly.
They could sell gas for a lot less if they wanted to.
So you are a Republican?
I'm definitely a Republican. I wouldn't vote for a Democrat.
I was in shock. I couldn't even believe what he was getting away with.
So you like the Democrats?
Yeah. Can I go now?
We couldn't show most of the vibrators. I spent probably a day blurring vibrators.
The pink one that kind of
goes around like that with the gel balls in it, with the clitoral stimulator. That was a bit tricky. And the double-headed dildo that bounced up and down, that took quite a while.
Anytime you have to blur the dildos, it's not as funny. I mean, you can look back 20 years in comedy. Anytime they blurred the dildos, it has not been as funny.
I personally have never experienced a tornado. Is it like it is in The Wizard of Oz, a tornado?
It's scary is all I can tell you.
What do you think about cigarette smoking?
I'm not an official spokesperson, sorry about that. I gotta go.
At one point, there was a very large vibrator that he had in the mouth of an old man who was answering questions.
What can we do to stop this from happening in the future?
We're the #1 power. If anything happens in the world, we're the ones that have to go.
Right.
What are you looking for?
See? Open wide? Okay. So the U.S. is the #1 power in the world then?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which do you think is the #2 power in the world?
How is it even possible that this guy is even answering the question? It actually blew me away.
He was just worried because he couldn't talk. You know, because he had this thing in his mouth, this big dildo.
I can't talk with that like that.
They seem so caught up in their own thought, in their mind's eye, or whatever it is, that they're oblivious to what else is going on. It says something about our culture and how important a television camera is and your opportunity to get on TV. And I don't think it says anything good.
We had a lot of people who wanted to do stuff with Tom.
Everyone from, Katie Lang, Drew Barrymore, Kevin Spacey, big fan of Tom's, stopped him in New York. We picked our spots. Fabio obviously was one of those spots, and Fabio was terrific.
Fabio asked us to come to his home, which was kind of cool. He was like, hey, come on by, I love the show. He had never seen it before in his life. He had a publicist who was like, it's hip, it's hot. And so we showed up at Fabio's.
Hey, Tom.
Fabio, how you doing, man? Come in. Is it Fabio or Fabio?
Fabio was great. He was not reluctant to do anything.
You take your shirt off a lot too, right? You take your shirt off a lot of the time. Can we just compare chests for a second? Can we do that? I want to do that. Here, can you get my button here?
So you get this button?
Yeah. Here we go. Okay. You take your shirt off too. I just want to show our viewers at home what we're dealing with here in comparison. Take this off too?
What, the shirt?
No. Come on. Look, I did. Thank you. Okay, so you want to wander around? Have a look at some stuff? Okay. Check out all your bikes. They're in the kitchen.
Fabio set himself up. To find out that, his kitchen's filled with motocross bikes. I think he had about 40 of them in there. You can't write that.
I never eat at home. So, to me, this is an empty room. This is the only thing I have in the fridge.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it's not butter.
The butter wasn't put in the refrigerator. It wasn't set up. It was there. And Tom took what was there and created something.
It's pretty good, huh?
I can't believe that's not butter. Are you sure you don't want to take your shirt off? Because I think it'd be cool.
Okay. I'm very comfortable.
I think that was the intention of the whole bit, was to get Fabio to take his shirt off.
Do you have a shirt like that you can lend me then? Because I would be more comfortable if I
go get it.
Fabio gives him his own outfit, like a black tank top. Fabio's got this huge physique, perfect. And Tom's just like a skinny, whale compared to him.
So you're a little shy to take your shirt off then?
No, that's okay.
You're a little shy to take it off.
It's like...
That makes me feel really good,
And, at that point, Tom is making fun of himself, and trying to warm up to Fabio that way, where Fabio realizes that, and I think it opens it up.
Fabio just threw me in his pool. Damn you, Thor! Is this stereo? Oh my God, are these the speakers here?
Yep.
Wow.
And
what's a stereo system like this cost?
It cost a lot of money.
$15,000?
Yeah, the cable.
$100,000 for your stereo?
I'm not gonna say, but...
How much was the stereo? 100,000?
No, it's like...
More? For your stereo?
Okay, just the speaker about $130,000.
Just the speakers? The whole system more than $1 million?
I'm a gentleman, I don't say prices.
So it's more than $1 million for a stereo?
Why you have to give a price everything?
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna teach you to ride motorcycle.
Okay.
Before you know it, Fabio's flipping wheelies on his motorcycle.
Wait, Fabio just went by and did a pop wheelie.
They're just going up and down the street, and I'm thinking, God, this is Beverly Hills.
Jeez! You almost hit that woman in the Jaguar. If I get on the back of the bike, will you take your shirt off?
Sure, why not?
They both have their shirts off, and of course that was the beauty of it, is like Tom sitting next to Fabio.
It was great.
Wow, that's something.
Glenn's role is the whipping boy of the show.
Just like that. Just like
He never really feels safe unless he's out of the country.
Showing some shoes.
Like he just doesn't know what's behind him. Always looking over his shoulder.
Obviously, Glenn has taken a lot of abuse.
Oh, Glenn. Oh, Glenn's vomiting.
It's just his reactions are just so real.
Glenn, come on!
Glenn has gotten as upset as the most angry person that we've ever done anything on the street with.
My friend's crazy.
There were 3 shows in a row where Bell Canada had a little bit of a lockout or a strike going on, and Glenn actually was unable to fly down to New York to tape the shows.
As you can see, everybody, Glenn isn't here. He felt that he was too important to come to our TV show tonight.
And we really seized that opportunity to make Glenn's life hell. You know, we gave out his email address.
Write him at his own personal email address, humplick@hotmail.com.
His email was like flooded.
I got 12,000 emails so far. That's why I'm mad.
And Glenn was threatening to quit over that. So we thought, let's push it a little further.
Glenn, I didn't want to have to do this, Glenn, but now you've left me with no choice. We're going to have to debut a new segment called The Wheel of Misfortune.
We gave out part of his phone number.
Every week until Glenn comes back, we'll be revealing 1 digit from your home telephone number.
We had this conversation before doing the show, whether or not we put Glenn's actual home phone number on the back side of that. And what it came down to is everything in the show has to be real, so we put Glenn's actual phone number on the back side of that.
Irma and Eve, would you like to tell me what the number is today?
Number 1.
Number 1111111.
After the show, we were down at sidewalk level, and there were a couple of fans waiting to talk to Tom. And this girl, this fan, says, "Look," and points up at the window. And Glenn's phone number was facing all of Times Square. His home phone number was facing Times Square.
We didn't notice the window was facing the busiest intersection in the world.
And this girl's like, "Oh, I've already called and left a message for Glenn."
Hundreds and hundreds of people saw this number and decided just to call it up for just the hell of it.
Oh my God. Like, how stupid are we?
And he got a lot of phone calls. I think he had to change his number.
Needless to say, Glenn freaked out, and I mean, he couldn't have been closer to leaving the show.
And we crossed a line, didn't we, Glenn?
Yeah, you did.
It was a pretty tense couple of weeks there, where Tom would go into his office and close the door, and like 2 hours later he'd come out and he'd be on the phone with Glenn. Glenn was really upset.
He's really pissed off.
He called me on the phone. He said, "I don't want this invasion of my personal life anymore." And he was gonna quit the show.
And that got scary because I don't know if we have a show without Glenn. I think Glenn is that important.
Glenn is important. Glenn is important. Glenn is important.
I just don't think you could do it without him. So when he threatened to leave, we decided to just back off slightly.
I made a mistake last week, and I apologize.
Yeah. Right.
Glenn, I can't imagine doing the show without you. Glenn, you know I'm sincere. I want to repair some of the damage and make it Public Appreciation Night.
You know, we figured if we backed off just slightly on Glenn, you know, get him back into the fold, then we could start attacking again.
You know, Tom's his friend, and you know, I think he'll always forgive him.
That's them. What you see on camera is Phil and Glenn. That's how they are.
Phil Giroux is kind of tough to explain.
But there's so many layers to Phil. He's like, Phil's an enigma, man. You could probably spend like days and days with Phil and still not have any clue about Phil.
He's crazy. He seems to have lost it a little bit, actually.
He's nuts.
He is nuts.
Phil laughs a lot.
He's got this sort of maniacal laugh, which apparently was influenced by Robert De Niro in Cape Fear.
Oh, that's Phil.
Why don't we just throw him in a window with a coffee mug and that's all he does. He laughs.
It's sort of like having a laugh track wherever you go for Tom.
It was nice having Phil in back, you know, laughing and everything, because he genuinely found a lot of the stuff funny, and when he didn't, you know, it was on the script, you know, Phil, laugh.
He is germophobic, you know. He hates pennies. He hates touching pennies.
I don't like the way copper smells.
I don't like touching copper.
And it's, I don't know why, it gives me a headache when I touch copper.
People use these things to pay for things, okay?
I don't like copper. I don't like copper.
It's a big deal. Come on.
He's scared of toilets. Like when he goes to the bathroom on number 2, he stands up.
He has to wash his hands compulsively.
It's the weird thing about Phil is I've been to his apartment and it's a disaster. There's pizza boxes everywhere, empty yogurt containers on the floor. It looks like a frat house.
He's got his stuff all over the place. There's hardly any furniture, you know.
Phil, what kind of animal are you living like? Even I don't live like this, and I'm a mess. Look at this. Is this your light? Is this where you keep your light? Look at you.
His room was a disaster. Like the drawers were all pulled out. His clothes were all over the floor. But yeah, he does in a weird way. He has some kind of germ thing. I don't know where he got that from.
Tom had taken Phil's girlfriend to Las Vegas and took her on a date because Phil had missed their anniversary, I believe.
Phil has a girlfriend who he loves. He loves her very much. They've been together for years. But if things were so hot, Phil, and if you love her so much, how come you forgot all about your anniversary?
Oh, what? No, we didn't. I didn't.
Phil has this tendency to just kind of coast because he has the easiest job on the show. So every once in a while, it was great to all of a sudden, you know, give Glenn a little bit of a break, and which Glenn loved. You know, when Phil got it, Glenn was at his absolute happiest. We contacted Phil's girlfriend and asked her if she could fly to Las Vegas for the weekend to hang out with Tom and do this whole bit where she was going to be on a date with Tom, and Tom was going to treat her like a real lady.
And she was like, sure, you know, and I think it's a whole sort of understanding with that whole group that grew up together. You know, they're willing to do anything for a laugh.
She told Phil that she was going to Toronto on business for the weekend, and Phil believed it. He no reason not to.
Remember that business trip that Kim said she went on? She was actually not really on a business trip, Phil. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Wow. She was in Las Vegas with me. Phil has a girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Kim.
Last week was our 2-year anniversary, and he totally forgot. Totally forgot. Not even flowers or anything, and I just, you know, I felt really bad.
Kim. Well, Phil's in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Phil's far away from here. Would you like to go on a date with me today?
You know, I think I would. I want to know how to be treated like a lady.
Come on.
It was a very secretive type shoot, and it was, I think, more to give Kim some privacy and also make her comfortable with the shoot, because if you've seen the bit, it is pretty risque.
You ready?
Okay, watch she doesn't fight. Watch she doesn't fight. We're having a lot of fun. You having fun, Kimmy?
Oh, I'm loving this, Tommy.
Yeah?
This is great. This is so romantic.
So, how's sex, Kim, with Phil?
Well, you know, he's got this, like, germ phobia.
Phil has a germ phobia?
Yeah, he does. He washes his hands 100 times a day. He just doesn't like getting all that stuff all over him, that sticky stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean, sticky stuff?
Well, you know, the ejaculate, I guess is the correct word.
Really? I mean, Phil doesn't like to
No,
get...
he doesn't like revel in it and just go, right away it's like, up and wash my hands kind of thing, you know?
If you were my girlfriend, we could roll in my ejaculate all day.
She's looking for the word, and she refers to Phil's ejaculate and how he has to immediately get up and wash. That's absolutely Phil.
I just want to treat you right, baby.
They were kissing. They were really kissing.
Phil? Phil? Oh, I thought I heard Phil.
I'm like, is this girl gonna really know what she's getting herself into? But she ended up just going along with everything.
Kim was a really good sport. She seemed willing to do just about anything.
That was the best sex I ever had. You're so good at sex, Kim.
Yeah. Got a lot of practice with Phil.
Why do you always f***ing talk about him? I took you out on the f***ing horses?
Phil thought that was hilarious. When we didn't know what Phil was going to think. It's like, oh, is he going to threaten to quit the show over this? Phil watched it and he just thought, oh, wicked, that's like hilarious.
Like he knows it's all for the show. He's probably done stuff to Tom in the past, like so it was probably like a payback.
She actually was a natural. Like we were kind of speculating that, wow, she'd be surprised if somebody offers her an acting gig after this.
Lake Washington was a crazy shoot, a huge shoot it turned out to be.
We went to Seattle. We had about 5 ideas in mind. One of them was Tom swims a lake, so naturally we drove around looking at lakes. We found the biggest one. We just wanted to see how big it would get.
We all went to a radio station, one of the biggest radio stations like in Seattle, and he got up there and he promoted it.
I'm swimming across Lake Washington tomorrow, Bill. I'm gonna kick the lake's ass. Daddy said I'd never amount to nothing. Well, how's the first guy to swim across Lake Washington sound to you? Huh? Woo!
It was such an obvious publicity stunt. Even the media knows it was a publicity stunt, but you still have to cover it.
The interesting thing about the media is it's so simple to manipulate. I mean, if you really look at it, they don't think for themselves. They're gonna go with whatever's hot. And if Tom's hot, if Tom's got MTV and everything behind him saying, "Ooh, you're hot," the media right away is like, "Oh, he must be hot." So we're gonna follow everything he does. So that worked to our advantage.
It ended up being a really big event.
There were tons of media people there. I remember they had choppers above. There were 4 or 5 news people, news crews there. The radio station kept on giving hourly updates and reports of the Tom Green Watch.
I think all that energy and all the people that showed up just fueled Tom that much more, and Tom turned in a great performance.
My name is Tom Green. I'm a swimmer. I'm skinny, and I'm fast, and my body is made of 80% water. My brain tells me that if I'm 80% water, that really only 20% of me is going to have to swim. The rest just mixes in with the water. I see an ambulance over there. You might as well take that and drive it back to the hospital to somebody who needs it. Ambulances are for losers! And I'm a winner, man! After the Chicago Bulls won the NBA championship. Did you see them driving around in ambulances? No! Because they're winners! I'd like to just answer any questions that there are.
When they asked him questions, they kept a straight face like they were seriously reporting, but I think they had no idea what to expect him, to answer with.
Yes.
Mr. Green, I'm wondering what you'll do if you get too tired to make it to the other side.
Clearly, Lisa wasn't listening to the speech today. Do you have wax in your ears, Lisa? I just talked for 15 minutes about I'm swimming across the lake. All right, thank you very much.
Tom prides himself on being a good swimmer. And to be honest, I think a lot of us were skeptical. It's like, okay, well, so you're a good swimmer. What does that mean? I know I couldn't swim Lake Washington. So I think there were a bunch of us who were skeptical, and that fueled Tom. Tom loved being able to, at the end of the day, say, I did it, and you guys didn't think I could do it.
I used a trick I learned with Tom on the lake swim. I bet him $100 that he wouldn't make it. And so I knew we needed him to make it, but it was like a mile. It wasn't that far.
So he gets across.
I kicked this lake's ass!
Then he gets back on the boat and we bring him over to the finish line. No big deal. He made it. He did it.
I kicked Lake Washington's ass!
We were all claiming that he was the first man ever to cross Lake Washington. But apparently it came out that, you know, schools and stuff during summer camp, like 10, 15, 16-year-old kids would go ahead and swim across.
It was kind of moronic if you look at what we did, but there was such a big response to it. I remember thinking, you know, oh my God, you know, what if Tom, you know, plays putt-putt in the nude? You know, CNN could be there. And then, as you saw, it actually got to that point where we weren't playing putt-putt in the nude, but we were going up to Ottawa making bags with Monica Lewinsky.
A bunch of people from the show went to this party that Tony Hawk was having.
And one of Tony's friends was like, hey, I know another party where Monica Lewinsky's at. And it's funny to think about that now, but, you know, in my mind then, it was like, oh my God, Monica Lewinsky. You know, that's, you know, we're trying to book Tom Wopat.
So Glenn Humplick and Jeff Boggs went up to her, hoping that she would know the show.
And actually, Monica and I started talking, and we both seemed to enjoy each other.
The more they talked, the more they hit it off. And Jeff and Monica became pretty good friends and started hanging out together.
And Tom actually hung around with her a little bit. And I'll tell you, it actually got tense for a while there too, because here's the triangle. It's Tom, it's Monica, and it's myself. And Monica and myself are happy. You know, we were really happy. And then Tom comes in. And, you know, the only reason I met Monica was because of Tom. You could see them drifting a little, and you could see me drifting a little. I thought things here were going pretty well. Little did I know, things here were going pretty well. And then it kind of came to a head where I was like, hey, do you want to be on our show? And Monica goes, well, let me ask Tom. And I was like, what do you mean ask Tom? And she's like, well, you know, he's my friend too. Kind of blew up a little bit, and Tom and I didn't talk for about a month after it was all said and done, because I was like, hey man, step off. And he's like, hey, she's not your girlfriend. And I'm like, she's not your girlfriend. And then he's like, she's not, you know, your girlfriend either. And then I was to Monica, I was like, you know, he's not your boyfriend. And Tom said to Monica that I wasn't his boyfriend. And it was confusing for a while. And then we actually got her to go up to Ottawa anyway after all the silliness ended.
Tom wanted to do something incredibly random. You know, every TV show in the United States would love to get Monica Lewinsky on their show. If she wants to do something with us, let's do the least obvious thing and do exactly what people aren't expecting and don't want. You know, it's like you've got Monica Lewinsky doing the show, and so you're doing a whole thing about searching for the perfect fabric for her handbags. I mean, people at home or on other TV shows are going to be like, what the hell are they doing?
Monica in Ottawa is kind of a microcosm of Tom's whole show. No one knows what's going on.
It was a media circus, like the whole, from day one, and it just escalated.
And we had a bunch of press chasing us around, you know. And when I say chasing, I really do mean high-speed Princess Diana type chasing.
We were just wondering if we could ask you to stop following us now.
And the press was pissed.
Oh yeah, Jeff Boggs actually got hit by a car.
By a car.
One of the Ottawa Sun reporter hit me in the leg with his car, and you know it hurt. My leg hurt for a couple of days.
And Tom did very well to play the media.
You people, you animals!
I think the media thought that Tom and Monica were up there to announce that they were going to get married.
Having a press conference on the roof of the Little Beaver restaurant in Ottawa, Canada, and having literally the world press show up, German crews, English crews, American crews, Canadian crews, French crews, all there, beaming live footage of this historic press conference, which was all about making Ottawa the fabric capital of the world.
For the past 3 days and nights, Monica Lewinsky and I have scoured this city looking for the perfect fabric. We've got the best damned fabrics in the world!
Fabric, that's why we're out here. And you see hundreds of people standing in this freezing weather, looking at two people on the top of this restaurant. They're all excited because they thought, what, is she pregnant? Is she gonna get married? These are all these rumors that are spreading, and it's about fabric.
Both he and Monica pulled the wool over people's eyes. And I think it worked great.
What better person in recent memory to have a little bit of revenge on the media than Monica Lewinsky?
That show in particular was a breakthrough for Tom. It took his comedy to another level. It wasn't just poop on a microphone anymore. He was actually kind of making social commentary and still in a funny Tom Green way.
Tom's parents are like the most sympathetic people in the whole world. I mean, those are like the greatest parents ever.
The entire crew felt for Tom's parents.
Tom's parents are your parents. And I think that's why people associate with the whole screwing with the parents.
You know you've had sex twice because of myself and my brother being here on this planet. Did you ever have sex for fun?
And they get legitimately angry. I mean, whether it's the slutmobile.
That you like the slutmobile, right? No big deal.
I mean, they get really pissed.
My first meeting with the parents ever was me in a ski mask with a camera. Coming into their house, Tom leaving me in the house with this homeless person.
It's 4:15 in the morning. We're out in front of my parents' house. I haven't been home in about 3 months, and I'm about to introduce my parents to my new girlfriend, Sandy, who I'm getting married to.
Tom barges in so much that they kind of got used to it. But even so, it would still be a surprise to me.
I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'd like you to meet my new fiance.
Oh yeah, hi.
My fiance, Sandy. I'm gonna just head out and do a few things, okay, honey? Okay.
Okay, love you, sweetheart.
Love you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
I was instructed not to take off the mask and not to talk for hours on end. I was, shooting, but I didn't say anything. And I was just this guy in a ski mask with a camera.
Where's that taxi when you want it?
They did show that they had a really good sense of humor about themselves, ultimately. They became celebrities in their own right. Tom's dad likes being on camera.
Dick is a closet superstar.
You're my parents.
That's the sad thing, Tom.
And his mom is just like naturally funny. She doesn't even try to be.
And Daddy, he called me a stupid.
No, he would not. I'm not sure why he didn't.
Tom's mom was a fox.
We usually let a comfortable amount of time since the last thing go by. And then, we'd sit around with all the writers and come up with new things to do to Tom's parents.
The worst I've ever seen was the statue.
They were really angry about the statues. I think actually they were most angry at the day before when we interviewed them.
Dad, what is Mom's favorite sexual position? Do you have a favorite sexual position?
Come on, let's go.
No, come on. Come on, big deal. It's 1999.
Basically putting words in their mouths. Tom's, setting them up.
Oral sex? Do you anal sex? Come on, don't go. Sit down.
Where you go? Talk about it with me.
Mom, what's the problem? Have you had oral sex with Dad? Mom, have you had oral sex with Dad?
They really took exception to it. They thought it was tasteless. They were so mad about that we had to leave that evening.
So in the morning he comes back and basically says, look, I apologize about last night.
6 o'clock in the morning, my parents are sleeping. I feel really bad about what happened in the interview last night, so I'm gonna go apologize to them. You guys did a great job raising me. And I want to repay you for that. I just wanted to come by and apologize and give you a present. Come outside, I just want to say I'm sorry.
Never stop.
What is that? Why is that?
It's remember the dinner, Dad. It's about the dinner you didn't want to talk about. Look at it, Mom. It's a present for you. It's the "Where's my dinner, bitch" statue.
I do not like it at all.
What are you doing? Dad, you letting the violence come out again?
Tom thought that would somehow repair the bridge, open up a dialogue. And it didn't, oddly enough. His parents were more upset now. They went back inside and we quick had to shuffle and get another statue out there. And this one was, I think, the one that pushed him over the edge. It was called the "You Like It Like That, Bitch" statue.
I realized the statue was not appropriate, okay? I want to make it up to you. Come stand in front of the statue again, please.
No, totally I won't.
No!
Finally, we got the parents to come out and take a look at it, and that's when his dad lost it.
Not about anger. Don't love, okay?
No, get out of here.
His dad kicked the statue and kind of showed what he's all about. I mean, he really got aggressive, really got violent, and kind of ruined the whole bit. I'm sure it was funny, but the statues were ruined. It took 3 weeks to build. They were $5,000 each. Really nice statues.
Don't ever mention the love statues because they hate it. They were pretty turned off by it.
And the dad actually had called the day after and left a message for our production manager.
Listen to this.
My name is Richard Green. I'm Tom Green's father. I do not want the scenes that were shot this weekend at my home used on television. These scenes are used, I guarantee you, I'll sue you bastards for $1 million.
I I would probably expect my parents to do the same.
I think they like the fact that Tom's on TV and they're really happy for him and proud of him, and they know that a lot of it are just jokes, and they do get, upset with a lot of things they do, but I think they're happy for Tom.
Cancer's always a hoot.
When I first heard that Tom was sick, it was kind of a week of mystery.
He told everyone he had a hernia.
I knew he went into the hospital to get something checked out, and then I had heard that his parents were flying down. So I actually was nervous.
And I thought, why would his parents fly in for hernia surgery? It doesn't make much sense to me. Well, like a week later, Tom came in the office and actually asked to talk to myself and the writer-producer Jeff Boggs, and he's just like, so you guys know I have cancer? I have testicular cancer. And Jeff and I were just stunned.
And he just kind of laid it all out. They cut a ball out yesterday, and I'm going in for a big surgery.
And then he said he'd like to film it. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yes. If I don't do this, I'll just be so depressed. I have to have something to laugh about this whole thing.
I actually took the bandage off. It's a little swollen, but that's the scar where my testicle was removed. It was pulled out of my body right there. You told me just yesterday, actually, you told me that you actually had your testicle removed when you were 3 years old.
No,
and
no.
you now have one testicle as well.
I was born with,
between the two of us, we have two
one testicle.
testicles.
I've got one.
He was born. Oh, he was born with one testicle.
And
now you have one and a half. You were born with one, and now you have one and a half.
Where they
what
took
is that?
The testicle and they
What,
pushed it
you
down
grew
into my
you
scrotum.
grew. What's that?
No, one was in my scrotum when I was born, and the other testicle was inside.
Undescended.
Undescended.
An undescended
testicle.
testicle.
That's what it's called. The technical term.
Yeah, I have one testicle and Glenn has one testicle.
So really, between us, we've got 2.5.
I have one and Glenn also has one testicle.
I've got 1.5.
Ooh.
It was obviously a way of him being able to focus and turn it into a positive.
To turn it around like that was perfect. I don't think it could have been any other way.
I had that one moment where I thought, maybe it's a joke.
It's all a joke. I don't really have testicular cancer.
And it was a joke.
Woo! We got my dad again.
But then I thought, I'm like, you know what? Tom likes to do outrageous stuff, but he does know where to draw the line.
Actually, Phil Giroux back here. Come on, you come out here for a second, Phil. Phil has this thing that he likes to do where he'll actually show us his testicles.
Okay, so I'm just checking for lumps, basically.
Checking for lumps.
For lumps, okay. So
Lumps,
basically,
nodules.
So
you want to run your other hand over the top surface of the testicle.
Phil came out and he was fine taking his pants off and his shirt off, although we didn't really have to go that far, but he did anyway. But then it took 25 minutes of coaxing to get him to actually allow the doctor to feel his testicles.
Okay, basically I'm going to use both my hands to kind of feel the testicle itself.
We try and educate on the Tom Green Show.
It gave Tom a purpose. You know, suddenly he wasn't allowed to wallow in, oh my God, what's happening here? He had to be on.
Tubing. You had one shot to do it. You had one shot to turn the camera on and, tape everything. You can't fake going into surgery, those jitters. Fortunately, he pulled through.
Everything went fine, but Dr. Scanner told me that he removed the other testicle by mistake.
I admire him for putting it on tape. I think it was very brave of him. Feeling my testicles, I do it every morning. I separate, rub and rub. Thanks to Tom now.
Rub your balls, squeeze your balls, so you don't get cancer. Masturbate every day.
We were always wondering what we were going to do to top Monica Lewinsky, and Bama, we did it with cancer.
Rub your balls only for pleasure, or for pleasure and for checking for cancer at the same time.
This is unique, and it's once in a lifetime. Because, well, unless he gets some more cancer, and then we'll do another special.
We're making a TV show, and it's all for a good laugh.
It was exciting to be a part of something that was just full of so much twisted, subversive energy.
Coming into work, you never knew what was going to happen.
It's been an interesting ride.
People may look back on this fondly and say, remember when he used to have sex with dead animals and simulate copulation with senior citizens, and we'll all chuckle.
I think Tom is a watershed comedian. I think he speaks for a generation.
It was just the right time for this, and I think he made such a strong first impression that people will definitely remember it for a long time.
We done? We're done. We're done.
We're done?
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, we have quite a few things that never quite made it to air.
Tom was driving by this hotel, and out on the sign, it was supposed to say free HBO. Well, the B was knocked out, so it said free ho.
We were like, oh my God, you know, this is not only will it be a nice hotel to stay at, but we could also get a segment. And we did the segment, and it was odd. We were doing the report from in front of the sign, you know, free ho, what a motel. I think the writing went, what a crazy motel. And an Indian gentleman came out, and you know, Tom's like, hi, my name's, and the guy's like, get off my property right now.
So Tom was trying to talk to this guy about the free hoe that was part of the offer when you buy a room. And the guy was like, blah, 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 blah. And so Tom kept on saying, you know, I want to see this free hoe before I try and, you know, rent a room, because if I don't like the free hoe, then I don't want the room.
And it turned into this crazy fight. It was like a 5-minute fight where the Indian gentleman had the camera in his hands, and Tom was trying to pull him away, and our cameraman, and they're going in circles, and it was hilarious footage. And we offered him afterwards, we offered him $500 to put it on the air. And through his spokesman or whatever, they declined. We were at Newark International Airport, and Newt Gingrich was there getting off a plane. And he was on a payphone. He was talking to someone on the phone, and Tom went up and started humping him. And we had like 2 minutes of humping Newt Gingrich. And the Secret Service, one of the guys knew who he was, and the other guy didn't. And Tom kept humping, you know, he's just, and that never made it to air.
Even when we're not filming, he does, I don't know if he tries out material or that's the way he really is, or, you know, you never really know. But I remember when we were on location and we'd stop for lunch, and, you know, we'd stop at a McDonald's, and we'd pull up to the drive-thru, and I'd be in the seat, and I'd take the orders for all the producers and everybody, and I'd place the order, and Tom would be behind me, behind the chair, and he would like kind of lean over and stick his head like right through the window, and he would just start talking like gibberish. You know, not even, the camera's not even rolling. This is all downtime. And like he would just start talking, making no sense. And he'd be like, blah, 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 and the guy at the window would look at me, and I'd be like, you know, like this, turning around like this. And then Tom would go, blah, 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 just like that. The guy at the window would be like, what are you saying? He'd go, blah, 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 like that. And he would do it for, and I didn't want to be the one who'd be like, oh, you know, stop, Tom. Like, I'm not going to say that. So I just went with it. And the camera wasn't rolling. He'd be there like for 10 minutes, just doing that. People would be behind us honking horns, you know, let's go. And the guy'd be like, oh, do you want a straw? And he'd be like, blah, 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 and like all crazed out and stuff. And, you know, he would just keep taking the joke to the next level, keep taking the joke to the next level. Never quit on a joke.
We would be in the airport, and like Tom would find things to do to pass the time along. Like Tom would just stand there, and as people walk by, he would like point down to the ground. And as they walk by, they would like look, and like some people would actually start like stepping over the things, like, oh, geez, I don't want to step on that. And he would do this for like just like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we were sitting in our chairs like, like just laughing our asses off, thinking like, this is so funny. And then when he got like tired with that, he would turn around, he would do the you drop something thing. Like, oh, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, you dropped that. And people are so busy in the airport, they would look back and try to see what they would drop, and they're like, man, I got my ticket, I got my passport, I got my bag, like, what did I drop, And they get so frantic. And then like to take it to the next level, because that's what he's all about. If someone else was passing at the same time, like you drop something, and that guy just picked it up. He's sir, come back, bring that back. And the guy would be like, what are you talking about? I did not pick anything up. And the part that I loved the most was Tom would then pull himself away from the scene, and then we would just sit back and watch these people arguing over whether they're like, well, what's my thing? What do you have? Well, what did you drop? I'm not sure, but that guy said I dropped something and you have it. And we would sit there and we would laugh, and I was amazed at how many people we would get with that.